Hey, what's up, trader? It's Kati from the DesireToTRADE. Now, I want to guide you through a losing trade I got last week. I want to show you exactly what happened and why it didn't work, and what lesson you should get from it. So here's what happened. I identified a resistance zone at that line. Now, for people who criticize that thing, those lines are not perfect. Okay, those lines are only zones. A lot of people think that those lines should be perfect. They should arrive at the top exactly, but it's not how it works. Those lines are only zones. Now, I missed that part because that part was in the middle of the night for me. So I couldn't sell at that level. What I did is I waited either for the next retracement or the next consolidation. And this is what we had here. So a nice consolidation. Now that's perfect for me to enter. Now what I would do is I would do a sell trade. So to trade a breakdown at that level. As soon as the candlestick closes below this level, I can enter. So I put an entry here below the candlestick that broke the low, and then my stop loss just above this candlestick. And then my take profit was around here. Then this is for me a perfect trade setup. This is perfect because we've had a big move down before. We have this consolidation, then a breakdown. So that's a perfect setup for me. Now here's what happened. My entry got triggered on the first candlestick. This is, by the way, the 60-minute chart. And then it went below again. So that was good. Until then, we have this big candlestick with a huge wick. Now, what happened at that level was unexpected. It was simply because of the news. Brought a lot of buyers to the market. So people were buying a lot. And they pushed the price to hit my stop loss. Now, this was unexpected. Was I wrong on that trade? No, because my technical setup was good. But this really shows you the importance of looking at the news, but also the importance of not being affected if your stop loss is hit. What I want you to get from that lesson is that unexpected things can happen, and that you really have to focus on executing your trade correctly, so respecting your strategy, and protecting your capital. So a lot of people will say, well, you're better putting your stop loss higher at that point. Well, yeah, I could put my stop loss here, but then I'm not protecting my capital. Then I'm risking a lot for that trade. Or some people will say, well, it's better to trade without stop loss. Why don't you just leave a stop loss aside and don't use it? Well, in that case, I agree that no stop loss is better, but over time and in general, having no stop loss will lead you to big losses. That's what you want to be careful for. If I didn't put a stop loss here, I would have get my take profit hit at some point, which is good. But over time, for the next trades, I may have big losses. So I want to protect myself against this. So if ever your stop loss is hit, take it just as a sign that you're doing things correctly, that you're protecting your capital. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to think about a losing trade because you did your job correctly. You put your stop loss, you protected your stuff. You did everything you could to not lose your whole account. So that's perfect. That's really the lesson you should get from it. So if I had to take this trade again, I would take it the same way, exactly the same way. Simply because this is something that happens sometimes and you cannot avoid it. You could, of course, not trade during the news, but I prefer to trade during the news simply because you have this volatility sometimes, which could have been in my direction. So that's the kind of stuff you want to look for. Now, I hope this video was valuable. If so, I would love if you could subscribe to this channel, like this video, check out DesireToTRADE.com for more articles and great stuff, and I'll see you soon.